Hello, everybody.
Hi.
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 What's going on, Stephanie? How's it going?
Uh, Good. I'm just sharing the feed right now. So maybe some people will see this and come and join. I don't know. But I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing. What the hell is going on? Sorry, I'm doing quite well. Just starting the podcast, as you know, because you're here and part of the podcast. Um, but yeah, just got off work not too long ago, so really excited to start this. Oh, now I can't see him.
I know it's a struggle. I don't even know where my glasses are actually. That's bad.
Yeah, you should probably figure that out
Eventually, it'll be a thing.
someday.
Mm,
Hopefully, maybe.
Someday, maybe I'll find them. I don't know. But doing good, and there's a lot going on in the news today, or well, this
Yeah,
week. So, do you want to just go right into it?
but sure.
Why do you sound like you're questioning that?
Uh, because I probably was. I don't know what you want me to say right now. You're making this
I
weird.
don't know. I don't know.
Making it really weird.
Okay, well, we're just going to start then with the
Yeah.
news. So, the very first thing is actually that Sir Sean Connery has passed away.
Yeah, real
So,
sad. Real sad, man. Like, um, really influential actor. Did a lot of movies. Um,
definitely.
I'll be honest, I really only seen him in like four movies.
What?
I really only seen him in like four movies.
Okay, wait. First, what four movies?
Um Dragonheart, right? That's the one?
He was the voice of the dragon.
No, the other one.
Dragonheart, he was the voice.
No, there's the one where he helps hunt the dragon. But he was the voice of Dragonheart as well. But there's another one. Either way, the dragon one, the Highlander,
Yes.
um, the Indiana Jones.
That was my favorite Indiana Jones.
Everyone loves that one. I'm like,
That's my
eh.
favorite.
Not like the first one is the
I
best.
mean, Dr. Jones will always have like a special place in my heart, as said by Data, but I
Honestly,
don't
the
remember.
second one, even though a lot of people hate on it, which I don't really get why, Temple of Doom was fucking awesome. Like
I
everyone
liked
needs a
it.
shorty in their life. Everyone needs an adopted Asian boy in their life.
I feel like you have one.
What? Where? When?
I don't know.
Okay, that's just weird. Okay, no,
I
I do not
I know.
have. I do not. One, I don't like children, so why would I adopt a child?
Okay, wait. So you've never saw him as James Bond?
I no, I've seen like clips of his old James Bond movies, and I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for it. But like, yeah, he wasn't like James Bond for me. The one and the great,
Goldfinger.
huh?
Goldfinger is amazing. High
To Die
rise.
Another Day is the best James Bond movie ever created. Get out of here. Pierce
He,
Brosnan is the best James Bond. The best. He is the
I'm
best at this. That's my Borat impression.
uh, okay.
Also, that
He
was a
was
good Borat
in The
impression.
Rock. Entrapment. He was in Entrapment. That was good. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You never saw
That
League of
was the other
Extraordinary
movie.
Gentlemen?
That was the other
Okay,
movie I saw him
we're
in.
getting there.
That's also a bad movie.
I love it. I don't know. I have a weird love
You're
for
like
that
one of
movie.
like 20 people that wouldn't
I'm
actually saw
aware.
it.
It was
Nobody else liked that movie.
it was
Hey, what's up,
fun.
Rob? I didn't see you on the chat. Hey, what's up?
Um, he was King Arthur in First Night. I was like, why am I struggling with this? He was in like I don't know. He was in so many
'Cause maybe
things.
you don't really know what movies he's really in, and maybe
No, I'm like
maybe
looking
you
at
wanna,
them.
huh? Wait,
Sean Connery died, Nick, and that's why we're bringing up League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
mhm.
It's, it's a good comic. It actually is a comic.
It's not a
It's a
comedy movie.
fun. No, it's fun. It was a fun story. It was fun getting like all those literary
If fun means
characters.
bad, then yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Yeah.
Okay, so anywho, very sad to see. Watch Finding Forrester. That is a good one. Um, we're very sad that he's passed. even though
No, I
Frank is
get why,
doing
like, I know I
amazing.
totally get that part. Like, it's definitely sad that he passed, and I definitely think, again, I do think he was an influential actor. I think he's been around long enough and did a lot of great movies that people were able to, like, learn a lot from him. Again,
Yeah,
Highlander was fucking awesome. It was sad to see him die, but he had to die because there could only be one. I
you're
am
an
the
idiot.
Highlander.
Next, on to news that I'm super excited about.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna bring this up, one, because I'm a huge Dodger fan, and yay for the Dodgers winning the World Series. But that's gonna segue right into the fact that Cody Bellinger is gonna get to play a character in an upcoming Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. There's pictures of him like doing all of the modeling. He's doing the voices, even the movements. His character is going to play. I just lost the name of it. Um, Last name is Sluggerson, and he's going to be a guy that can hit rocks real far.
Whoa, that's so cool. Not
You
really.
can include him in one of the adventures and tasks. So it is kind of interesting. I'm excited to see it. Again, I love Assassin's Creed. I love the Dodgers. So put them together, and it just makes me happier.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm a huge Dodger fan as well. I think it's pretty cool that he's branching out and doing something outside of his realm, at least that we know of. And I'm always down for Assassin's Creed as long as it's not that movie that they made. That was really
No, the
awful.
movie was bad, actually.
Yeah, that's why I said it was awful.
I can get behind that one because we usually don't agree on movies. I mean, we
Yeah,
do, but we
you
don't.
like bad ones, and I generally like good ones.
You're a horrible person.
Nobody is disagreeing with you.
That's fair. All right. Next on the docket is going to be PlayStation announcing that on the November 12th or November 19th date, whichever one applies to your region, they will
Mhm.
not have the PlayStations in the stores. So they're really encouraging those distant online purchases.
I think that's smart for a few reasons. Excuse me. Number one being that I don't know if you know this, but thievery is a big thing, especially during the holidays.
Yes.
I remember when I once worked at Best Buy that we had to watch a video of a man dressed up as Spider-Man actually stealing PlayStation 3s at the time. That's how old I am. That place stealing brand new PlayStation 3s out of the cases and sneaking out of the place. And he actually didn't get caught until he did it a second time at a different Best Buy. So things happen all the time. So that's a good reason. And two, it's do you know how many people are going to wait outside of those? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Black Friday is. I'm glad it's canceled. Essentially, like it's everything being bought online now. It has been for a while. Where Black Friday
Yeah.
became more of an online holiday than a physical holiday, and
Mhm.
I'm glad that we're having less and less contact because it was that kind of with COVID and everything. It's a worry, and it's just make things easier for people. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not gonna get one right away. It's too crazy. I already know people that are buying them and getting ready to scalp them. So um,
I
yeah,
want one, but I don't think it's going to be the first thing that I purchase. It's definitely on the list, and I know we've talked about it. It's on
I'm
my
in the
list
middle of
for an
building a
Xbox.
$1,500 computer. I don't need a $500 PlayStation right now.
Frank, it's being asked, what area did you work at? And wait, did you work
Yeah,
in
I'm
Best
not
Buy?
gonna I'm not gonna answer that. Oh, what area? Like in the Best Buy? I thought they meant like what Best Buy.
Yeah, cover that.
I was the so at the time they split up their media section, which consisted of music, movies, and like video games.
Hmm.
They were technically all part of the same department, but because they were so separated and so massive on their own, we had like section managers, and I was the section manager for the CD portion. So I managed all the albums when they had a lot more albums at the store, and then I eventually moved over to the video game section, which I was always more fond of, anyways. So, I mean, I like the music. It's just like you have to deal with a lot of people that want to talk to you about their music, and there's a lot of genres out there that I just was not into. I had a Christian rap section that I had to like constantly talk to people about, and it was not a great time.
I
Yeah.
like that. That's how what you took from that time.
That was well, that's like it was memorable. I had to they had to like because it was always the same conversation with those people. It was always
Hmm.
like Christian rap is still really good rap, just about God. And I was just like, sure, man. Yeah, Kanye West and fucking whoever you're listening to is totally the same, 100%.
I remember going to like church concerts.
I don't.
We grew up differently.
We did.
I remember to go see Big Tent Revival in Rancho Cucamonga.
I don't even know what that is. Uh, I also grew up Catholic, so we didn't have like cool bands, and if you weren't wearing a robe, you weren't worshiping God right.
We grew up differently.
Yeah, I grew up Mexican. You did not.
I hate you. Anywho, moving on with the Sony PlayStation world, it is reported that Sony is going to buy Crunchyroll for $957 million.
Yeah, that's super fucking exciting. That's fucking dope. Sony has been in making some pretty big moves lately. I think they always have, and that's the one thing that kind of keeps them around. Not just the PlayStation. I think the PlayStation is something that's very at the front and like what they're really kind of known for, but they have so much more that they do in the background. They've really kind of kept pushing forward with technology. Like they just invested, I think, somewhere around like $500,000 in buying up different podcasts and podcast studios and keeping them alive. And they're continuing to do this with buying Crunchyroll. It's one of the best, smartest moves they can do to keep people like united in and bought in on the PlayStation. I feel
Oh
because the
yeah.
more they can keep you on that machine and using it, not just as a gaming system. I know people that buy Xboxes and PlayStations because they rather have that than an actual like media center, like just a regular
Oh,
Blu-ray player. They like the feel of it. They like the aesthetic of it, and um, yeah, it's interesting for sure.
we definitely use the Xbox and the PlayStation for media constantly as well,
Mhm.
switching back and forth between the two. I think it's an interesting buy. Apparently, they were looking at buying it or in 2006. Um, or no, that's when Crunchyroll was founded. 2018 is when AT&T became Crunchyroll's parent company, and earlier this year they were looking to sell Sony at that time for 1.5 billion. So it's definitely lower than the initial what they were looking
You,
for.
yeah, you know what's crazy though is like the fact that Crunchyroll is worth so much when it's just an anime streaming service specifically.
That's what catches me because I wouldn't expect that Crunchyroll would be worth that amount, that dollar amount, even
But
as,
it, it's
as popular as it is.
yeah. No, it is. It has a lot. They, you know what? They offer a lot, not just yeah, it is only anime. I'm not going to pretend like it's other stuff, but
Oh,
they do kind of give like any level of watcher the ability to like really get into it. And I think
mm,
anime has definitely become a lot more mainstream. Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I couldn't bring it up at school because then I would be weird.
yeah,
But I knew that like now, not I knew, nowadays I mean, TikTok has blown anime out the water. I think before that, when I worked at Hot Topic, um, like almost 7 years ago, they were already pushing anime pretty big. And I mean, they always have, but they really like pushed it a lot further to where like I mean, I don't see anybody wearing an anime shirt at least once a day now. It's fairly
yeah.
common. So I
Well,
think it
there
makes
was
sense that something like Crunchyroll would flourish.
Oh, absolutely. I used to have, well, even like last year at Halloween, had like four students came dressed up as anime characters.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was not something that we would have seen growing up. Like there would be like one kid and that'd be the weird kid.
Yeah, you definitely like again, I was a closeted anime fan. Like definitely like there's no like no. The only one I could talk about like to figure out who was like an anime like a weeb or like just like they like Dragon Ball Z was like the line. So I'd have to
Yeah.
mention Dragon Ball Z, and if they mentioned like another show, then I'm like, oh, they're cool. Like I have a fellow weeb friend. But if
Weeb.
they
I've never heard that term.
what do you God damn it, Stephanie. God, guys, anyone in the chat, can you please just like, I'm not the only one, right? Like
The thing that makes me
what?
laugh is that you always like you think that sometimes the stuff that you know is common knowledge and not
It
stuff that's like
is.
it's
Google Weeb right now, and it's a huge fucking. It's not like a subculture thing at all. I mean, I guess it's about a subculture technically, but
okay.
it's
So wait. How would you spell it?
WEEB.
WEEB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess technically WEEBU, but WEEB will be fine.
For a non-Japanese person who's obsessed with. Okay. You could have just said that. I've never heard it. I mean, I've heard it, but I don't think I've asked what it meant.
Yeah. Well, it's a very common thing. So, um, it'd be like if you didn't know what senpai was, like you would never be allowed to watch anime again. You don't know what that means, do you?
Nope.
God damn it. God damn it, Stephanie. Why do you do this to me? You know, I don't like want to be like upset at you, right?
I
I
know, but it
I
is
want to
actually
I
a lot
want to
of
have
fun on my end to see how crazy you will get over some of these strangest things. And I don't watch animes. Like I did like Dragon Ball Z. There were other animes that I watched, but it wasn't like I was part of a culture. I was very, very independent in my nerddom until recently.
Mhm.
So all the stuff that I got into because I stumbled into it
Yeah,
because it wasn't really part of any of my surroundings.
that's fair.
And so, like, I wanted to play Dragon Ball Z. I couldn't do that until recently, or not Dragon Ball Z, D&D until recently
Mhm.
because of like becoming really friends with you.
Yeah.
So we have the case of somebody who was part of nerd culture where I wasn't even until like the past 3 years where I was like
All right.
actually entering
I've
it.
I've decided a new thing. I'm just gonna explain
Yep.
everything like you don't know what you're talking about.
I hate you so much.
I'm not gonna make it any better, but maybe it will. Uh, but yeah, no, weeb is a very common term that basically describes somebody who really is into anime and like the culture behind it, not just watching. Generally, they will have other things that they're into that include, as they call it. I might be saying this wrong. Otaku culture, which is things like surrounding like anime.
All right.
Yes. So, anyways, yeah, Crunchyroll, it's a great purchase. It is definitely something that I'm glad to see happen, and hopefully we'll have more and more children growing up with anime in the household, unlike Stephanie's kids who are now uncultured.
They actually do like anime.
Okay, fine, they're cultured, but their mom is uncultured.
I hate you as a person.
I'm
All right.
being nice.
Next.
I could be very upset about this. I'm not. I'm taking this quite
Mhm.
well.
All right. So next on the docket is Xbox Series X coming out again. Going to be similar in price range to the PlayStation, almost identical.
Mhm.
But their big secret weapon that they're claiming, of course, is their Game Pass.
I mean, yeah, they as far as Xbox and their Game Pass, they've really kind of like won on that. I'm like glad that they've really dug in on it.
Mhm.
I think PlayStation has been trying to compete with it. They've had several like renditions, and they're doing okay now, but it's
Mhm.
not as good. I think Xbox really made it like a thing. Like they even paired up with Razer, who came out with like a controller just for your phone that plugs into
Mhm.
your phone
Mhm.
directly and basically turns your phone into like a Switch kind of deal. And you can play all your games on Xbox. Sorry, the Game Pass on there, and it's like meant specifically for Game Pass. So
Mhm.
now you can take your video games anywhere, and it's on your phone. Which people who have phones like the S20 Ultra that has 120 hertz refresh rate, oh my god, it's fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Definitely I forget what the Razer controller is called. It's like the Kiyoshi or something like that. Definitely on my to buy list.
Yeah.
Just so I can like I don't even have an Xbox, and I'm very excited to buy this so I can play video games on the go. Like if Sony comes out with like Sony, like you can do it on your like you technically can do it on your phone. It's better like on an iPad, and you can like pair your controller to the iPad and
Mhm.
play with strong Wi-Fi. But if they were to come out with like a controller that's more based for it, I think it would be really awesome.
Definitely. I have Xbox games downloaded on here from the Game Pass onto
Mhm.
my computer, and I like it. It's been fun, like going to the park and just playing there. Mm. But yep, that's the thing they're looking for. Although they definitely want you to spend money on the console, it's that $15 subscription fee that they want to see. So,
Yeah.
and it looks like the Xbox will be limited without some sort of subscription.
What? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it always has been, you know?
Hmm.
I mean,
Oh, definitely.
I don't know what game station, maybe the Switch, but what game station you can't really have without having the online um, subscription. I know PlayStation got away with making it free for a long time up until the
Mhm.
PlayStation 4, then you had to pay for it. But it makes sense with the quality of games that we have now that there's no
Oh,
way
def
that they can keep it free. And with how many people increasingly buy consoles now, yeah,
Mhm.
I get it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, continuing talking about the games is the Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed, and it looks like it might be impacting some other games.
Yeah, I mean, such a huge release, it makes sense that it's definitely gonna impact other games, and it's gonna be hard on Cyberpunk, and it's gonna be hard on the other titles as well. Because I know as somebody who tries to bring you know, take in as much media as not just what we talk about, but what I just want to enjoy, it's really
Mhm.
hard already. There's so many games that I don't have the time to play anymore. I haven't played video games in, like, a month and a half since I started my job, and it sucks, but it's what growing up is, and for some of us, we can't play all the time. So when a game like this gets pushed back, it's going to really make it tough on what games you're going to be able to buy and have time to play.
Absolutely. So, the original release date was November 19th. It is getting pushed over to December 10th.
Mm.
Um, and there's going to be a kind of a lot of other things. Like there was other games that were coming off that they're getting the pressure taken off them. So, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Godfall, Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War, just to name a few, are now probably going to be in a little bit better place because Cyberpunk was such a huge release. The
Yeah,
games that are going to probably feel a little bit of it is that Immortals Phoenix Rising that was coming out on December 3rd. Madden, and FIFA both have games coming out, as well as the Medium. I think that's all of the ones coming out that week. So they're probably gonna hit a bump their first week of sales.
yeah, it's going to be tough for a lot of the games that are out there, but we'll see how it's going to go.
Definitely. I am still really excited to see Keanu Reeves in that one though.
Yeah.
All right. So DC Omniverse continuity changes coming in 2021.
Oh, does that mean it's my turn? Is
You.
that what's going on? Okay. Yeah, so for those of you that keep up with the DC comics, you know that they've always kind of been on a linear path with their stories. They generally things happen in the timeline and they kind of affect everything else, which kind of gives DC like what they're working on, like the stories like they're going for, and all of them move forward towards that. And so now they're looking at changing it to an omniverse, so something where we can have multiple stories, basically in different worlds, and they kind of affect each other or don't at all. Like kind of like what they used to have. So I mean, DC is kind of known for that. I mean, any comic book world, whether it's Marvel, DC, Image, like they all have their own paths. DC does tend to change it up a lot or have a lot of things going on. But I think that happens because they were in a linear universe and then try to switch back and then go back and forth, and they want to keep things fresh. And I get it; it's a lot of change. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily the way to go with how they've really set a lot of things up. They've been doing that for the last 7 years, something like that. And the new 52, great. I'm forgetting the next sequel after that, but Batman Metal after that one before that, and or not Batman, but the Metal universes, and now the newer. Oh man, I'm forgetting the names of all these right now because my brain's overloading. They just started setting up a new storyline that's all everything like based in the future, and it seems like they're kind of going out of left field with this omniverse. But I
Mhm.
mean, comic books are always ever changing to kind of adapt to what they need, and maybe they feel like they've written themselves in a corner, or they just want to start fresh. So it's always about the next story or possible stories, and I think that's just what they're doing.
I'm excited to see where they go with this. I'm kind of always a little, I guess, apprehensive when somebody makes a big change from what they're currently going. So we'll see.
I mean, they change it every couple of years. You get,
Yeah,
there's never,
I'm always yeah, but every time there's
something
a
that's
change, I get
concrete.
leery. Yeah,
Like, but why?
I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be okay. Batman's still gonna be Batman, or maybe somebody else will be Batman. Like they're
Yeah,
these characters that it's all relative. It's all gonna eventually. It's gonna, someone's gonna die and come back from the dead. It's and
I
it
know.
or something's gonna be different. It's literally never the same. There's no, you can't get too attached, and I mean, I don't know what superhero has stayed consistent for more than a year or a couple of years, you know?
Mhm.
So,
I know, but you can get you don't want to see somebody come into the role and then just slaughter it. Not
I'm
in a good
sorry, like,
way.
in a comic book?
Oh, no, but it's like I mean, even, like, the artists getting in the stories and, like, there's been, like, stories where they come out and you get, like
Oh, I see what you're
I don't know,
saying.
when you,
Yeah,
like they kinda pull back from a character. I don't know,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have any specific storylines where I've read them and I'm not, like,
kind of
excited
into it.
or, like yeah, generally, there's something a part of it. I mean, there's ones I get bored of because I don't like how they're writing it, and the way
Yeah,
I look at it is, like, I'll just come back to it when it gets exciting again because
I think it's
there's
another writer.
gonna be certain things that are gonna be better and some things gonna be worse. Like, I love Kevin Smith, and I definitely love the widening gyre, but is it a good like, if I would've read it when it was coming out, do I think it would've been good? No. As a graphic novel, I think it's great. It's great to see, the story as a whole, and I can get one after the other, but I think if I had to wait for those issues like that and see it
Yeah.
as it was written, it wasn't gonna be all that good for me, and,
I
you
think
know
for me, just because my life is so busy with kids, with work, with everything, it's like if something's gonna kind of veer me off, it gets taken kind of off of my radar for a
Mhm.
while. Even if there are like a new rendition of a comic book, I don't always get it to go back to it because I kind of had to put my energy somewhere else, and then I might kind of get distracted before I can get back to it.
Yeah.
So when I get bored of a character or something like that, I don't always get to come back and see the next version of it.
Mhm.
So that's
For
for me,
sure.
it's like you don't want to not fall in love with a character. But characters I am really excited to see, but on TV is going to be the characters for WandaVision.
Wanda or Vision, or both.
Both. I like kind of both. I like both of them. I like their interactions with each other.
I think they're very different from the Wanda and Vision that we know from the comics.
Oh yeah.
I don't necessarily like them. I think they're okay, they're interesting as what they were. On the show, I think they're gonna finally get to, like, explore their dynamic, and maybe that'll change my mind and, like, make me like
Mhm.
them more. Or just make me like them less, but, I
Well,
think it'll be interesting.
remember the trailer? The trailer was super interesting.
No, the trailer looks interesting. I'm not saying that, like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like the story. I just don't necessarily, like, find them really exciting, especially because, like, they really kinda blanded Wanda down, and maybe this is
Oh,
their chance to make it better, but, I don't know. She's never so far in the movie universe, I've never gotten excited to see either. But to be fair, I've
aw.
never been, like, a big, like, Vision fan. Wanda, yeah, she's fucking awesome, but, not the movie version. She's only okay.
I liked her in it. I think Elizabeth Olsen, she made the character kind of just like that. She very timid in the beginning, and you're kind of just starting to see that other side of her. So I'm excited to see what they do with her in movie form. But they're pretty much saying it as a full-on action movie, so that should be interesting to see. And it does look like they're going to be coming out. They're going to be. There's been some illusions by Kat Dennings, who played Darcy Lewis in the first couple Thors, who's going to be in these as well. That it does still look like 2020 is on the cards for a release. So I'm excited to see this one.
I'm excited for Kat Dennings. She
I knew
is
that was
ugh,
coming.
mm, like, oh my god, I've been in love with her since she did Charlie Bartlett, and, even before that, actually, but, man, talk about a celebrity crush.
What when she was in with Michael Sarah Michael yeah. It's like
Nick and Nora's, Infinite
Infinite
Playlist,
Playlist. That was such a cute movie.
that was a good movie too, but
It was
Charlie
fan
Bartlett was better. It's one of those high school movies that really, like, I don't know, makes you kinda wish you had more control over your, like, personality and really understand who you were in high school, so you can have,
okay.
like, cool adventures like these movies. Have you never seen it?
I've not.
Yeah, I get it.
Had a busy life, Frank.
Okay, do not compare.
Was okay. Next that we're gonna be talking about is Halloween Kills. Jamie Lee Curtis's teasing the sequel is a masterpiece.
Mhm. Yeah, why does she look super hot?
She looks amazing.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't think I would still think Jamie Lee Curtis was hot, and I saw her in a picture recently, and I was just like, can you not Jamie Lee Curtis? You're
How
like
old is
older than my mom.
I'm now looking this up.
Weird. You're making this weird, Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't appreciate this. You're making it weird for me. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Jamie Lee Curtis is 61.
Oh, okay, my mom's older than her. So you're not as old as my mom, but you're still making it fucking weird for me. Okay,
But you
Jamie Lee
probably just
Curtis.
made her feel bad. You thought I don't. Mm.
What?
I don't know. Wait, who should be offended? Your mom or Jamie Lee Curtis?
Why should my mom be offended? She was born. She
No.
literally had no control
If you
over how
thought,
old she is.
no. If you thought the one was older and they're not older, Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, not your mom. Sorry, you thought
I'm
she
gonna
was
tell my
old.
mom you were talking shit. You're being rude. You're calling my mom
I'm
old.
not. No, I did
I'm gonna tell her.
not.
I'm gonna
Older.
tell her you said that. That's fucked up.
She'll probably still appreciate it from me more than you.
That's not true.
Mm. But Jamie Lee Curtis coming out in another Halloween because there's going to be two. They greenlit two sequels: Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Halloween ends. We're finally gonna see Michael, you know, dun 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 dun, dun die.
Yeah,
We're
it
not.
says Halloween Kills is pretty much about the trauma infecting the entire community.
Okay.
So I don't know. Are you a huge fan of the Halloweens?
I'm not like the biggest of fans. I honestly didn't. I've watched the movies. I wasn't a
Mhm.
huge fan until the Rob Zombie remake, and that's what really made me like the movies
Okay.
because it was like a more interesting look at the character. Because if you look at the original movies, there's not a lot of information. You just know that he kills a lot of people, and that was kind of like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, he's Michael and he kills, and to me, when Rob Zombie did those movies, he really explored the childhood. He really explored the character and gave a lot of character development that we didn't get before. And
Yeah.
now it's kind of become more of a thing to develop the characters behind who these murderers are. Which I mean, we really get with like the new It movies. At least the first one. The second one was kind of ugh, but the original second one was kind of ugh. But the first one, I mean the remake of It, the first It, it did a really good job of exploring the kids and the killer, and we really got to see a lot of information. And I can really appreciate that in horror movies when they don't just show me a killer and that he can kill. I want to see this like world being built, and I think we can do a lot better with horror. I feel like horror movies kind of got put into a hole of these like hack slasher movies,
Mhm.
and I think we can do a lot better. And hopefully, it becomes more of a trend in horror to do these more long form stories.
I definitely appreciate them. I like these stories where you're finding out about our monsters. Um, but I do love just a quick slasher, not gonna lie. Like I think it's fun. But
They're
the new ones are
okay. I
more
appreciate it.
interesting.
Yeah, I just want more of a story than just like the like even well, I mean, these are the new Evil Dead was a lot more than what it just was, where it was like, just like this house haunting all these people. But then again,
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell did an amazing job of like keeping that whole legacy going, and it even went to like weird places. But I appreciate them for what they are because Ash versus Evil Dead is probably one of my favorite TV shows ever created.
That's such a fun world that is
Yeah,
created.
for sure. Especially because it started in horror and ended in comedy, which is
Yeah.
such a weird place to go.
I love horror comedy mixes. I think they're so like there's so much just like I don't know, you can just put that on and just watch it and laugh and jump and I love it.
I think that's the only one that started out as only a horror movie though, and then
Yeah.
started to become a
Oh,
comedy. And I think that's what, like, for me made it like very unique.
yeah, that one kind of just seemed like it happened as opposed to where the other ones were definitely planned, but it's a genre and group that I love.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next we have Warner Brother apologizes after The Witches faces criticism from the disability community. So
Yeah, that one's kind of weird.
this one is definitely interesting. So uh, Anne Hathaway's character can be seen with three webbed fingers on each hand, which
Hmm.
is known as split hand. or
Yes.
ectrodactyl, and the community that has that disability, I'm like, I don't want to mess this word up. Disability um, is not happy about that depiction.
Um. Um.
What do you think, Frank?
I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble if I say what I think.
You probably will.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've like I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to discredit your disability of web fingers. Ooh, I'm Aquaman. Like, fuck off a little bit, okay? Because like you could swim fast.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble for that.
It's not me. I'm not making that up. I'm not being a jerk. That's a real thing. They can swim faster because they have more push.
Well, the main complaint, it looks like it's coming from Paralympic swimmer Amy Marin.
Exactly. Swim faster. I'm
But
sorry that I got a superpower and they're being depicted as ugly. How about you chill the fuck out? Huh? Olympic
um,
person?
I just saw a thing and it says, on one hand, women were burned for having webbed fingers. Wait, is that like a Salem witch trial thing? Now I'm so
I
curious.
think anything that made women anything stick out in any way or form was a witch trial thing.
That's fair.
I think if you just like interrupted your husband at the wrong time, that made it a witch trial thing. Not to say that that was right. I'm just saying that that's probably like you know.
Okay, question. If you were going to be tried as a witch, I know you're a boy and probably didn't happen very often, like, or at all.
First
Which
of
way would
all, first
you
of
want
all,
to go down? Which way would you want to go? Like, would you want to be like, does she sink? Or like, does she float like a duck in the demon? Or like be burned? I'm just really curious.
First of all, there were male witch
There were
trials.
males,
It just
there's not
wasn't as common as the women ones,
there
but there
wasn't.
were there were warlock burnings,
Okay.
and um, if I had to be burned alive or drown, is that what you're
Hmm.
asking me? Because neither. Well, they also stoned people to death.
That's true. Okay, so stoned.
Mm.
Okay, burned, stoned, or drowned.
All of them are horrible.
That's I know.
I guess drown. Have you ever been like burned like really bad? It's fucking
Yeah, no, it
awful.
sucks. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one.
Also, you have a chance of surviving burning. Not. It depends on what goes down, but you could still be alive. Like there were times where they would find people still alive after being burned horrifically, and they would just have to like stab them because they were still alive after the burnings.
No, yes, because if they survived, then they were a witch.
Well, I just I don't think that's necessarily why. I think they just
No, it
like
was that if you survived this, then you're a witch. So then they would find
well,
another witch.
yeah, but I think they were just trying to like get rid of the person that they were trying to kill.
Hmm. And let's go read some more about the Salem witch trials.
Yes.
I have. It's just been a really long time, and I'm super tired. But it is interesting. So, I don't know. Are they going to be changing the story now and reshooting it to not
It's
have?
already out.
Oh,
It's
that's right. It's
already
already
out.
out. That's right. Because
What do
they're
you
saying
mean? They're not gonna reshoot it. It's already out.
they're gonna have to go
People
back
have
to the
already seen it.
fingers. That's
I
true.
mean, they could. I'm sure later. I doubt it. I don't think it's dumb. It's stupid. People like to complain about shit, and you know what? They had a Taco Bell dog for years, and fucking whatever. That's the only comparison I can say that I've like personally felt. Like I
Mhm.
guess, and whatever, man.
So the Paralympics wrote limb difference is not scary. Differences should be celebrated, and a disability has to be normalized.
Yeah, if I showed up with like three dicks, I'm pretty sure some people would freak the fuck out. Do you know how hard it would be to like try to like have sex with people with any kind of like even with a disability like that?
Who would you get the other dicks from?
They would have grown from
Kidding,
me if I
kidding.
had three dicks. Do you not understand how disability works?
No, I
Stephanie,
know, but I just
stop
picture
being
you
rude about
cutting off other
disability.
people's penises,
Stop,
walking
stop,
around with them, being a
stop
creeper.
making people with three penises look bad with your jokes, okay? They don't appreciate it. They're real. They're real people. Okay? Okay?
Disney
Right?
Plus delivers a X-Men animated series trailer.
Oh, you're just gonna segue from three penises to that?
Yep,
All right,
Wolverine.
fine. That's fair.
The trailer looks amazing, actually. It was, like, so nostalgic to watch it.
No, it's been cool, but the thing that gets me about it is that X-Men has been on Disney Plus for a while since like launch. I remember I started rewatching it on there because it was on there. It was one of the things I actually wanted to watch on there,
Yeah.
and so it's just funny that they would release this trailer like so far after it's been on.
I wonder if it's just to kinda get it out there again because it has, like maybe it hasn't been, like, going as much as well as they thought it would initially.
Maybe that's true. I mean, either way, X-Men the animated series is one of the best animated depictions of a comic book. Honestly, for me, if it wasn't for the X-Men the animated series, I probably wouldn't be really into a lot of the nerdy stuff that I am into.
It
It's
was a
still
segue for a lot of us, I think.
probably one of the best theme songs ever created. Like, are you
Well, it's
kidding?
the very
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Like,
the very first cosplay I picked was Jubilee,
yeah.
from the animated series, or the colors and stuff from
Mhm.
the animated series, just because it was so like, I don't know, she was always just so fun and spunky, and I just thought it'd be cool.
I feel you.
Wanted to have a weird love of
What was
X-Men.
that? What is this?
I don't
What is
know. I am really tired.
what is that? Who does that?
I don't know. But, yeah, we're getting back the seasons that were from '92 to '97. I didn't realize, like, going back, how long it was on TV. Like, I remember
Yeah,
it being, like, a huge chunk of, like, my childhood, but I didn't realize how much of it was, I guess.
yeah. It was
But
on
I
for a
love
long
that
time.
show.
No, it was great. Without that show, there is no Spider-Man the animated series. There's no
Oh, yeah,
Iron Man the animated series. It really spawned a ton of Marvel um, cartoons that did really well.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So, I'm that's gonna be one of those things that I go in and watch soon. One of the next sparklers? I don't know what that means, Nick. I'm really tired. Um, the next thing I wanted to bring up, the next story, is that there is a doctor that paid 41,000 for Aladdin's lamp, and he thinks he may have been conned.
I've seen the picture of the lamp. It looks
Mhm.
awful. I don't know why he would have picked bought that. Also, why Aladdin's not real. Get the fuck out of here.
He's so the doctor is from in let's see, he's physician Lacan. I don't know if I'm saying his first name correctly at all,
Mhm.
but the police in India arrested two men who allegedly ripped him off by selling him the lamp for that much money. According to the physician, the men even summoned the genie who lives inside the lamp, and later he realized it was one of the accused dressing up as Aladdin.
Wow. Um, I've done a
One of
lot of
those
dumb
stories
things. I
that,
will continue to do a lot of dumb things, but yeah, I don't know about this one.
yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I don't even I can't wrap my head around this one and how somebody, a doctor no less, would fall for this one.
Yeah, I don't really have much to try to defend this guy or try to figure out I don't know. It's I just can't even believe it happened.
I feel like we need like a spoiler sign for the next story though.
Which I don't know what the next story is.
The next story is that The Last Ronin has been revealed.
Oh yeah, you should definitely say spoilers for that.
Spoiler, 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 spoiler. So if you were planning on reading The Last Ronin and you were trying to find out who The Last Ronin
You
is,
should explain what the last Ronin is. Not everyone knows what that is.
I was going to. The Last Ronin is going to be that three of the four Ninja Turtles have been killed off, and one of them is going and avenging his brother's death. It is definitely a dark series in the Ninja Turtles world, which a lot of actually, they're a lot darker than they're depicted in the cartoons that we see usually. But we're getting to see a very different side of one of the turtles. And so that's finally been released. Frank, do you want to announce who it is?
Yeah. So basically,
Wait, wait, wait,
The
wait, but before you do that, do you remember who
okay.
your prediction was for it?
Yeah, I was right.
So was I, actually.
Yes, true. Um, but basically, we're in a future, somewhat dystopian world of New York, and the turtles, as we know, so some of them have passed away. Three of them have passed away, and we don't know how yet. Um, the first issue really laid a lot of groundwork as far as like really world building this dystopian New York, and what
Mhm.
we can see is that New York has kind of been fenced off. At least part of New York has been fenced off, and it's really, futuristic. Even some of the Foot Clan soldiers look like robots, but they actually are like people with like robot suits on that are being
Mhm.
controlled somehow. And we find out that it is the son, I think it's the grandson of Shredder that has now taken over and is
Hey, man.
basically ruling, and spreading the rule of the Foot Clan. And there's one turtle left to try and stop him.
Mhm.
Um, and it's kind of crazy everything that goes on. You guys should definitely take if you want to get into it, please read it. It's pretty good so far. They've only released two issues,
Mhm.
and really nice to see everything they're doing. But on the last page of the first issue, we do get to see that the last Ronin, as he's referred to throughout the whole book, throughout the whole first issue, has he ends up actually trying. He goes on a mission to get rid of Shredder's grandson, and in the means of doing that, he fails, and he's able to escape, but he sees that he's pretty badly injured and basically has dishonored his family because he failed and he's
Mhm.
pretty much about to die and tries to commit the ultimate sacrifice in order to not dishonor his family. He actually passes out from the blood that he loses and doesn't isn't able to do so, but is found by a woman, who we don't know, we can't officially say, but it looks like she's probably related to Casey Jones. And she brings the last Ronin to a safe house where it's revealed that April O'Neil is still around. A much older April O'Neil comes in and is glad to see that her friend is still alive, and that's when we find out that Michelangelo is the last Ronin. So, really kind of this interesting tale. I was surprised that we got to find out who it was in the first issue, but that
Yeah.
just goes to show you, like, what else we're in store for must be, like, a lot. So, I'm excited to see what's going on, and I think that we get to see him talking to the ghost of his brothers. We don't know if he can actually talk to him or if he's just hallucinating. But it'll be interesting to find out how they passed away. And you can definitely tell like Michelangelo had to grow up like a lot. So, pretty cool book so far.
Oh, definitely. Let's see. So we have one last story before we're gonna kind of talk about. Actually, this one kind of leads into our very last story. Um, on that one. But apparently, this happened a couple months ago. But it's just kind of it's still been circulating around. Oh, not a couple months ago, the beginning of the year. Tom Holland wants to start an Avengers D&D group.
I'm not
If that
opposed to it.
happens, I want to see it. So
I think they'll
uh,
probably stream it. I doubt they're just gonna do it for funsies.
they should do.
I
I mean,
mean, I
also,
just don't think they have time to like.
yeah. So apparently, it's been him and co-star Chris Pratt have been
Mhm.
trying to start a Dungeons and Dragon group with their Avenger teammates. But I would so love that this be a show because I think just naturally that entire group is very charismatic and fun to watch in interviews. And when they get kind of like at roasting each other, it's always just so much fun to watch. So I would love to see them in a game of D&D.
Yeah, no, it'd be really awesome to see all their personalities go and see what kind of choices they would make. So I would definitely be on board to see what it would be like.
Okay. If you were going to put some of them as like, what do you think like they're kind of characters that they would pick now?
I don't know. I think they would try to pick. I honestly don't know because I don't think they're going to try to pick people that are like their Avengers counterparts. I think they're going to pick people who they really want to be, or maybe try to play a type of role that they really like to try to play. I think Chris Evans would try to pick like I think he would be like bad, like neutral bad. I don't think he'd be all the way bad, but I think he would be like neutral bad, like mischievous.
Yeah.
Um, I think Robert Downey Jr. would pick somebody like really good, like good, not just like neutral good.
We need to make a list of like the them as their Avengers where they would fit in the their alignments. Like if they who would be good
I think
character.
somebody should do it. I don't got time to do that shit, but somebody should.
You're great. You still have two or three shirts you're supposed to make or design.
Okay, first of all, if we're just sit here and call the things out that I don't have time for, we're gonna be here all fucking day.
Okay. All right. There actually is like it came out on Reddit. Somebody came up with the idea of who everybody would play. And it's actually a fun image. I'm gonna try and put it up on our Instagram later. But that leads us into our last thing, because you and me have been playing D&D for a couple months now.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I'm definitely enjoying it. I know we took this last week off. This is my first time playing D&D. Like I said, I had a hard time meeting people that were into it growing up.
Hmm.
This is your second time playing?
No, this is my second time, and like it's not my second time playing. I've played like a bunch when I was a kid. Like I had different groups.
Oh, okay.
But this is yeah, it isn't like it's not like I played once when I was a kid and then never played again. I played like a few times. I played like probably like I was probably in like 6 different groups total.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember you saying you played when you were little, but I guess I implied it that you'd only played once the way you said it. No, so
Yeah.
it's my first time. How are you adjusting from playing in person to playing online? Because we're using Roll20.
Oh, it's way easier because I don't have to do math all the time. Like Rodney really helps us out, honestly, our DM, because he really does a lot of the work for us. Because if we were to play DM in person or Dungeons and Dragons in person, it would be a lot more math that we'd have to figure out, and a lot more knowledge you're just required to know before you just jump into a character. And I think that's what makes it hard is because if you don't know enough about your character, the DMs aren't supposed to help you the way that ours does. Because he
Oh,
does
okay,
know that we are like beginner players, that he does throw
that's
us a lot of information. They're literally supposed to only tell us things when they're deciding that we should know them. So
mhm,
we can ask questions and they can decide not to answer them for the most part. Most of them do. Most of them just don't say shit.
got
So
it.
we're really lucky that we have somebody like Rodney who generally likes to educate new players and get them into playing the game.
Well, yeah, because I think if we were going in and it was my first time playing and I wasn't getting the help that he's providing and kind of
Mhm.
like being like, hey, like go look at like he doesn't really say go look at your spells, but like sometimes he'll be like, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, or like what was the one? I was like, can I do this kind of a spell? And he goes, well, they are made of this, so you can if you want to. And I'm like, oh, so no, I don't want to.
Yeah,
But if I wasn't getting that
and
like that knowledge base, I don't think I'd want to
yeah,
play.
and it's kind of the culture is to learn from your mistakes, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just that's how you're supposed to learn how to play.
Yeah, I guess. I think because of the nature of it, and I think maybe if we're playing in person versus playing so far apart,
Mhm.
it maybe that the other way would be easier. Not
Say
easier,
that
but
again. You kind of broke up.
oh, I was just saying, if we were playing in person, maybe the more traditional route would be, I guess, more understandable for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
because we're playing, we're not even in this. Most of us aren't even in the same state.
yeah. That's true. I kind of like the idea that we're able to connect so far away from each other. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think if anything, we should be held more responsible to know more because we do have all the information at our fingertips.
Mhm.
Honestly, I would probably be a much harsher DM than Rodney would.
I think you're a much harsher person than Rodney is,
Thank
naturally.
you.
Okay. But that's kind of all we really had for the night. I don't know if there's anything else you wanna
I,
add.
I had lots of things to talk about. That is very
No,
rude of you to assume
what
that I didn't have other things I wanted to say about D&D.
what else would you like to talk about D&D?
Well, now I don't want to because you made me feel weird about it.
I only find an
uh,
hour. I
I'm,
had a bad hour.
uh, I'm just kidding. No, I do think it's kind of awesome that we do get to connect, like you kind of said. It is interesting. I think it gives a lot of people the opportunity to play that didn't have the opportunity before, because
Yeah.
you did have to know people that were into it. Kind of like our friend Jasmine, who also has a YouTube channel called Beauty and Booze. I remembered the name. Go check it out. She's pretty cool, and she plays with us. But she got into Dungeons and Dragons, and she had a group that played, and she'd only played once, or that was her first time playing, and then she wasn't able to play anymore because the group stopped meeting, and she didn't know anybody online that or at all that would play with her. Dungeons and Dragons, not the other way, but it like I know that made it like felt weird coming out of my mouth like that. And I was like,
Mhm.
I'll fix it, and then it was worse. But yeah,
Well, that was even
you
for me,
know,
everybody that I knew played,
mhm.
like, on a Wednesday at noon, and I'm like, "I'm at work at Wednesday at noon. I can't get around it."
There's yeah, you're right. You're like it's hard
For
to
my
like
friends.
meet other people, but that's the thing is you have to go to like game shops and you have to like hang out. I mean, it's just kind of almost like comedy in the sense of like you have to kind of put yourself out there to meet other people that are in the know about the games and stuff. And like even when I was like, because the way I got into Dungeons and Dragons was I at during my like I guess like middle school. Yeah, I was in middle school. The school I went to, everybody was really into Magic the Gathering.
Mhm.
Like you had to learn Magic. There was no, you wouldn't be able to talk to anybody without playing Magic the Gathering. And so from there, D&D was just a natural progression. So some of us would get together and play like on lunches and stuff. And so um, for me, oh, I forgot my point of this. Fuck. I'm also tired.
How you got
Uh,
into D&D?
yeah, that's I mean essentially how I got into D&D
Mhm.
was through Magic the Gathering and that whole kind of fantasy world kind of blended together. Did you ever watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No, I'd kept trying to, and then there was always
Mhm.
something that happened that stopped me from watching it. Either it was,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, it was, like, a technical issue one time, and then it was, like, something else, like, an emergency happened the next time, and then I kinda just
Yeah.
stopped trying. But, like, me, the same thing, it was Magic that introduced me to D&D, and then my uncle's kind of into the comic book world a lot.
Mhm.
And then, actually, which reminds me, when we're talking about Tom Holland, there like, in going to Magic the Gathering, I kind of would like to see a game where you could play as picking into the Avengers world, like a very D&D version of playing the Avengers. Because like, I know I think I've mentioned to you before,
Oh,
it's, like,
like I see what you're saying.
overpowered.
Kind of
Yeah.
like how they did Rick and Morty, where they did like a Rick and
Mhm.
Morty storyline. That could be kind of cool. I it just would be hard only because like you'd have to be like one of the Avengers specifically. And it's like, how do
Yeah.
you build that character? And I'm sure
I
there's
just
ways to do it, and it just seems like it would be really kind of hard. Um, but it could be interesting. Who knows? I'm not a freaking story writer. I'm sure somebody could figure it out, and it would be really fun.
I think I would like to see how that would happen and, like, where it would
Mhm,
go. Because I think I told you before, on top of Magic the Gathering, one of the big games I played growing up was Overpower, where it was kind of like
mhm,
that, but you were picking either from the Marvel universe, the DC, or the
mhm.
Image universe, and you could get your characters and play them. So, it is kind of fun when you get to play with characters that you know and love.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to see
I
a D&D version of that as well.
100% agree.
Mhm.
That would be really cool to see. That rhymed. I don't know why. Uh, anyways, I'm pretty much so tired that I can't continue talking. So
Same, I think my eyes started watering a second ago, and I'm
yeah,
like, but we're here because
yeah.
we're
Sorry guys, I feel like this episode was a little bit lackluster, so
well, and I
I'll
think
own it.
everybody might
Uh,
be exhausted from the election and not wanting to look at the computer screens.
that's fair.
More
But
people
thank
in
you
the
everyone that's like stuck with us. We've had a few people. There's three people live with us now. We've had people coming in and out. So if you guys did listen to us, I do really appreciate it. You guys are kind of awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
I meant them.
Oh, that's rude. Uh, but you got anything to say before we take off, Stephanie?
Uh, have a good night,
All right,
and
guys.
thank you for staying.
Oh, we'll say that again because I thought you were done when you said good night.
And thank you for staying.
Oh yeah, definitely. Guys, thank you for sticking with us. Please check out our Instagram, Facebook. We go live on Facebook every week at 8:30. Still figuring out our Instagram live. We're probably gonna be working on that this week, hopefully next week.
Oh,
We also go
actually,
live on Twitch now as well, and
YouTube.
YouTube Live. So we have so many options for how we go live. Go ahead.
Next week, we're actually going to be going live from Platform 909, which is the coffee shop over in Chino Hills that
Mhm.
is Harry Potter themed. Gonna probably try and get there early and get some of their cakes. Actually, I think I'm gonna get there really early and eat food there. But
I
I'm
probably will do the same,
super
considering
excited.
that it's not that far from my work.
Yeah, I'm super excited. That should be fun. We're gonna get to see some of their stuff that they have to offer, as well as one of their baristas, Carlos, is going to be sitting with us and chatting for a bit.
Yeah.
And I now want their avocado toast.
I didn't have their avocado toast, but their food in general is just really good. But yeah, check us out for that. Please go check out Platform 99 on their social media. If you're in Chino, go check them out. They're honestly like a really cool place, and their food and drinks are amazing. So
I want to get the
please go
rainbow.
check them out. They have not paid us to say this kind of stuff, and even if they did, I would, that's not, I would reject their money. That's not true. I would keep it.
I want to go
But
get avocado toast and a rainbow cake.
yeah, so thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Bye, guys.